All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I am Sarabjit Kaur and with me is VC Pramod. The headlines. Over 27,69,000 doses of corona vaccine administered on the first day of Tika Utsav. Chhattisgarh government imposes complete lockdown in 17 districts in view of surge in COVID cases. Maharashtra records highest single-day spike with over 63,000 fresh corona cases. Centre bans export of remdesivir and its active ingredients till COVID situation improves in the country. US reiterates call for investigation into origins of COVID-19, slams China for not cooperating. Sanskrit Learning App Little Guru to be launched in Bangladesh today to promote the language. Iran describes Natan's atomic site blackout as nuclear terrorism. India beat Olympic champions Argentina 3-0 in second match of FIH Pro League at Buenos Aires, and Kolkata Knight Riders defeat Sunrisers Hyderabad by 10 runs in IPL cricket. As the number of COVID cases are on the rise again, we appeal to our listeners not to lower the guard, follow all the precautions and all those above 45 years to get vaccinated without any hesitation. Stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. Now the news in detail. Government has said that more than 27,69,000 vaccine doses were administered on the first day of Tika Utsav, out of which over 25,47,000 beneficiaries were vaccinated for the first dose and more than 2,22,000 beneficiaries received the second dose of the vaccine. The 4-day-long special vaccination drive Tika Utsav started yesterday all over the country on the birth anniversary of social reformer Jyotiba Phule. It will culminate on 14th of this month on the occasion of birth anniversary of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. The Union Health Ministry said on day 1 of the nationwide vaccination campaign, many workplace vaccination centres were operational. As it was a Sunday, most of these were operational in the private workplaces. The ministry said, on an average, 45,000 COVID vaccination centres are functional, but 63,800 vaccination centres were operational yesterday, marking a rise of an average of 18,800 centres. The cumulative number of COVID-19 vaccine doses administered in the country has reached to over 10 crore 43 lakh. The ministry said more than 9 crore first doses of COVID vaccine have been administered to its citizens, of which more than 4 crore are in the age category of above 60 years. Jammu and Kashmir Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha has asked officials to scale up vaccination in all districts of the Union Territory during the Tika Utsav. More details from our Srinagar correspondent.
The Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir also joins the nation in its celebration of 4-day Tika Utsav that commenced yesterday. On the first day of the Tika Utsav, 30,201 vaccine doses of COVID-19 were administered across Jammu and Kashmir to frontline workers, healthcare workers and the citizens aged 45 years and above. Out of these, 15,477 doses were administered in Jammu division and the rest 14,724 were administered in the Kashmir division. The cumulative vaccine doses administered in Jammu and Kashmir so far is 13,33,729. This is Sunil Kohl for AR News from Srinagar.
More than 1,04,000 beneficiaries have been vaccinated with COVID-19 vaccine doses in the last 24 hours in Delhi. With this, so far, more than 20,70,000 vaccine doses have been administered. The Delhi government has said that a total of 10,774 new confirmed cases of coronavirus infection were reported during the last 24 hours, taking the total number of cases to over 7,25,000. It said that over 6,79,000 people affected with coronavirus have been cured so far. In the last 24 hours, 5,158 people recovered and 48 deaths were reported in the city. The death toll so far in the national capital stood at 11,283. Presently, the total number of active cases of COVID-19 in the national capital is 34,341.
In Gujarat, 2,20,994 persons were vaccinated yesterday. Total 91,23,733 persons have been vaccinated in the state till now. Out of these, 10,67,733 persons have completed the second dose of the vaccine. More from our Ahmedabad correspondent.
Large number of people are turning up for vaccination in Gujarat during the weekend. According to the State Health Department, no case of any major side effect reported so far during the vaccination drive. Meanwhile, Gujarat has reported 5,469 new cases yesterday. 2,976 patients recovered and discharged from the various hospitals. 54 patients have lost their lives yesterday. State has 27,568 active cases at present, out of which 203 patients are on ventilator. Offline teaching has been postponed in all colleges till 30th April. Yogesh Pandya, AIR News, Ahmedabad.
In Chhattisgarh, orders have been issued to impose complete lockdown in 17 districts by the respective administrations. Meanwhile, Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel has sanctioned an amount of 50 crore rupees from the State Disaster Response Fund for the prevention of corona infection. More from our Raipur correspondent.
In Chhattisgarh, after the air passengers, guidelines have also been issued regarding the COVID test for rail passengers. Now, it will be mandatory for rail passengers to have a negative report of the corona test conducted within 72 hours before reaching Chhattisgarh. Those passengers who do not have a corona test report for the prescribed time period, their COVID test will be done at the railway station itself. Corona test facilities are being established in the railway stations of the state. Meanwhile, two senior officers have been sent to Mumbai and Hyderabad to ensure uninterrupted supply of remdesivir and other essential medicines and equipment to the state. The state government has decided that 80% of the oxygen produced in Chhattisgarh will now be provided to the state hospitals in the form of medical oxygen gas. The State Labour Department has set up a helpline center to facilitate workers coming back from other states. Vikalp Shukla, AIR News, Raipur.
In Bihar, 2,06,354 people took vaccine yesterday. Over 50,01,448 people have so far been vaccinated in the state. Meanwhile, a record 3,756 fresh cases were reported during the last 24 hours. Maximum 1,382 were reported from Patna, followed by 302 in Bhagalpur and 290 in Gaya. COVID-19 recovery rate is also decreasing and it is at 94.24% now. 2,66,923 patients have recovered from the infection in the state so far.
Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan has said that in order to effectively prevent corona infection in the state, a spontaneous corona curfew will be implemented in cities. Talking to media persons in Bhopal, Mr. Chauhan said that statewide lockdown will not be imposed because we also have to keep economic activities running. As many as 5,939 people were found to be infected with COVID-19 virus in the state yesterday, taking the total caseload to 3,38,145. More details from our correspondent.
Madhya Pradesh also recorded 24 fatalities, pushing the death toll to 4,184. Currently, the number of active cases stands at 35,316. On the other hand, 3,306 people discharged in the hospitals. Meanwhile, the COVID-19 vaccination festival Tika Utsav also began in Madhya Pradesh on the occasion of Jyotiba Phule Jayanti. The Tika Utsav in all the districts will continue till Baba Saheb Ambedkar Jayanti. The state government has appealed to public representatives, religious leaders, heads of communities and voluntary organizations to ensure their active participation to make the Tika Utsav a success. Sanjeev Sharma, AIR News, Bhopal.
Maharashtra reported highest single-day jump in COVID-19 cases, breaching the 60,000 mark yesterday. The state reported 63,294 cases, taking the total tally to 34,07,245. Meanwhile, an appropriate decision regarding imposing a lockdown in Maharashtra will be taken after April 14, State Health Minister Rajesh Tope said. He was speaking to reporters after a virtual meeting of the COVID-19 task force chaired by Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray. More details from our Mumbai correspondent.
In Maharashtra, more than 5,65,000 patients are getting treatment for COVID-19. Pune has more than 1 lakh active cases. In Mumbai, more than 91,000 and in Thane, more than 74,000 patients are under treatment. Nagpur has 58,500 active cases. Approximately 32 lakh citizens in the state are in quarantine. Yesterday, 63,294 new patients tested positive for coronavirus. On the other hand, more than 34,000 discharged with 349 fatalities registered on yesterday. State fatality rate has reached 1.7% and total fatalities are close to 58,000. Yesterday, around 20,000 new patients tested positive in Mumbai and surrounding areas. In the last 2 days, Mumbai has received around 2,34,000 doses of COVID-19 vaccine, due to which BMC has decided to start 62 out of 71 private vaccination centers from today. Vaccination in the private centers was halted from Saturday. Jeevan Bhavsar, AIR News, Mumbai.
The COVID-19 caseloads rose further in Kerala with 6,986 new cases registered yesterday. 65,003 samples were tested in the last 24 hours and test positivity rate is 10.75%. The present active cases of COVID in Kerala is 44,389. 2,358 recoveries and 16 deaths were also confirmed, taking the death toll to 4,783. Calicut and Ernakulam districts reported the highest number of new cases. 11.17 lakh people have recovered in the state and 1.7 lakh people are currently under observation. 9 new hotspots were identified and there are 391 hotspots in the state. The centre has written to Maharashtra, Punjab and Chhattisgarh over reports submitted by central health teams regarding COVID-19 testing and containment operation, hospital infrastructure and vaccination. Union Health Secretary Rajesh Bhushan has asked the states to take suitable corrective measures. In a letter to Maharashtra government, Mr. Bhushan highlighted that the containment operations were found to be suboptimal in Satara, Sangli and Aurangabad. In a letter to Punjab government, Mr. Bhushan stressed on the need to enhance focus on contact tracing in Patiala and Ludhiana. He said additional manpower must be deployed for contact tracing on a priority basis. The centre has also advised the Chhattisgarh government to ramp up hospital infrastructure and other logistic requirements to meet the demand arising due to the surge in COVID cases in 4 districts, including the state capital district of Raipur. Meanwhile, amid the sharp rise in corona infection cases in Chhattisgarh, lockdown will be imposed in 6 more districts of the state. With this, total of 17 districts out of 28 will be under lockdown.
The government has prohibited exports of injection remdesivir and active pharmaceutical ingredients of remdesivir till the COVID situation in the country improves. Union Health Ministry said India is witnessing a recent surge in COVID cases which has led to a sudden spike in demand for injection remdesivir used in the treatment of COVID patients. The ministry said there is a potential of further increase in this demand in the coming days. The ministry said the Department of Pharmaceuticals has been in contact with the domestic manufacturers to ramp up the production of remdesivir. 7 Indian companies are producing injection remdesivir under a voluntary licensing agreement with Gilead Sciences USA. They have an installed capacity of about 38,80,000 units per month. In England, shops, hairdressers, gyms and pub gardens will reopen today. Northern Ireland's stay-at-home order is ending and some rules are also being relaxed in Scotland and Wales. Prime Minister Boris Johnson termed it as a major step towards freedom from the restrictions of the COVID-19 pandemic. In a statement, he said it will be a huge relief for those business owners who have been closed for so long. He urged everyone to continue to behave responsibly and remember hands, face, space and fresh air to suppress COVID. Hundreds of thousands of businesses have been closed since early January when England entered a 3rd lockdown to stem surging infections driven by the Kent variant of the virus.
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Over 27,69,000 doses of corona vaccine administered on the first day of Tika Utsav. Chhattisgarh government imposes complete lockdown in 17 districts in view of surge in COVID cases. Maharashtra records highest single-day spike with over 63,000 fresh corona cases. Centre bans export of remdesivir and its active ingredients till COVID situation improves in the country. US reiterates call for investigation into origins of COVID-19, slams China for not cooperating. Sanskrit Learning App Little Guru to be launched in Bangladesh today to promote the language. Iran describes Natan's atomic site blackout as nuclear terrorism. India beat Olympic champions Argentina 3-0 in second match of the FIH Pro League at Buenos Aires. And Kolkata Knight Riders defeat Sunrisers Hyderabad by 10 runs in IPL cricket. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts.
Campaigning is in full swing for the fourth phase of assembly elections in West Bengal. 45 assembly constituencies will go to polls in this phase in the state on the 17th of this month. Senior BJP leader and Home Minister Amit Shah has accused Trinamool Congress leader and West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee of inciting people against the central forces and of doing politics of appeasement even over the deceased. Talking to reporters in Shantipur of Nadia district, Mr. Shah said Ms. Banerjee should apologize to the people of Bengal for her advice to gherao central forces. On the other hand, TMC Chief Mamata Banerjee talked to the deceased families of Sital Kuchi through video conference yesterday. She was supposed to meet them, but ECI has banned entry of political leaders to Cooch Behar district for 72 hours. Later, talking to news persons at Siliguri, Ms. Banerjee alleged that the CISF was not trained in crowd controlling. Meanwhile, campaigning is also going on for by-elections to 2 Lok Sabha seats, including Tirupati in Andhra Pradesh and Belgaum in Karnataka, along with 14 assembly constituencies in 11 states, where polling will also be held on 17th of April. The seats where by-polls will be held include 3 in Rajasthan, 2 in Karnataka and 1 each in Gujarat, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Mizoram, Nagaland, Odisha, Telangana and Uttarakhand.
In poll-bound West Bengal, various voters' awareness initiatives are being taken by the Darjeeling District Administration to increase voting percentage. Polling will be held on the 17th of this month in all the 5 assembly seats in Darjeeling District. More from our correspondent.
From organizing football matches to promoting Vote Panda mascot, several measures have been taken by the Darjeeling District Administration to woo over 12 lakh voters. Darjeeling has more female voters in comparison to male voters. District Administration has roped into 2 local youth icons to create voter awareness on ethical voting. Academician and writer Sudarshan Tamang and Paralympics basketball player Ankit Pradhan have urged all voters to exercise their voting rights in the 5th phase of polls. Hoardings and banners with various voters awareness messages have also been displayed all across the hilly district. Manas Pratim Sharma, AR News, Karshiong.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will share his thoughts with the people in the country and abroad in the Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio on the 25th of this month. It will be the 76th episode of the monthly radio program. People can share their views in the Namo app or MyGov Open Forum. They can also dial the toll-free telephone number 1800-117800 and record their message for the Prime Minister in either Hindi or English. The phone lines will remain open till 22nd April. In Uttarakhand, a large number of devotees are taking bath in river Ganga at Haridwar today on the auspicious occasion of Somvati Amavasya. Pilgrims from different parts of the country, including Haryana, Punjab, Delhi and Western UP, reached Haridwar late last night after registration as per the guidelines of the Mela administration. Elaborate arrangements have been made to ensure COVID protocol.
Union Minister of Education Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank presented the AICTE Leelavati Awards 2020 on women empowerment to the winners in New Delhi yesterday. Mr. Pokhriyal welcomed the initiative of All India Council for Technical Education AICTE for instituting the Leelavati Awards and stressed that such innovative steps shall be great motivation for girls to join higher education. He said this initiative will pave the path towards equality in education and innovation for women. Based on the theme Women Empowerment, AICTE finalized the winners from a total of 456 entries who competed across 6 sub-themes which include women's health, self-defense, sanitation and hygiene, literacy, women entrepreneurship and legal awareness. A Sanskrit Learning App will be launched in Bangladesh by the Indira Gandhi Cultural Centre IGCC of the High Commission of India today. The Sanskrit Learning App is part of the campaign being run by the Indian Council of Cultural Relations ICCR to promote Sanskrit among students, religious scholars, Indologists and historians across the world. More details from our Dhaka correspondent.
The app named Little Guru is based on an interactive platform which will make Sanskrit learning easy, entertaining and fun. This app will help people who are already learning Sanskrit or those who are desirous to learn Sanskrit to do so in an easy and fun manner. Combining entertainment with education, the app will use games, competition, rewards, peer-to-peer interactions to help people learn Sanskrit. ICCR has been receiving a large number of requests from across the world from people interested in learning Sanskrit. Many of the Buddhist, Jain and other religious texts are in Sanskrit. There has been a great demand from such countries for assistance in learning the language. Several universities across the world where Sanskrit is taught have shown keen interest in an app which would help the students in these universities and others who wish to pursue learning of Sanskrit. Rajesh Jha for AIR News, Dhaka.
US has reiterated its call for investigation into the origins of COVID-19 and slammed China for not cooperating in the probe. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken launched a scathing attack against China for a lack of transparency during the early stages of the outbreak of coronavirus pandemic. Mr. Blinken's remarks come as a report of a joint inquiry by the World Health Organization last month that did not conclusively establish how or when the virus began spreading. In an interview to local broadcaster, Mr. Blinken said China knows that in the early stages of COVID, it didn't do what it needed to do, which was to give access to international experts, to share information and to provide real transparency. US Secretary of State said one result of that failure is that the virus got out of hand faster. A group of international scientists have also called for a new investigation into the origins of COVID-19 after China and WHO released a scrutinized report concluding that the virus most likely came from wildlife instead of a laboratory. Iran's nuclear chief has said its Natanz nuclear facility was hit by a terrorist attack yesterday. In a statement, head of the Iran Atomic Energy Organization IAEO, Ali Akbar Salehi, condemned it and urged the international community and the International Atomic Energy Agency IAEA to deal with the nuclear terrorism. Earlier yesterday, a spokesman of the IAEO had said that a problem with the electrical distribution grid of the Natanz site had caused an incident. He earlier said that the incident caused no casualties or contamination, but later AEIO chief described the incident as sabotage and nuclear terrorism. On Saturday, Iran's President Hassan Rouhani had inaugurated new centrifuges at the Natanz site, which is key to the country's uranium enrichment program. And now, news from the world of sports.
In hockey, India registered a comfortable win against reigning Olympic champions Argentina in the second match of FIH Hockey Pro League at Buenos Aires last night. Men in blue won the game by beating the host by 3-0. In the first match, India beat Argentina 3-2. In IPL cricket, Kolkata Knight Riders kicked off their campaign with a winning note after beating Sunrisers Hyderabad by 10 runs in Chennai last night. Put into bat first, Owen Morgan-led KKR scored 187 for 6 in the stipulated 20 overs, riding on opener Nitish Rana's 80 of 56 balls and Rahul Tripathi's 53 of 29. In reply, Sunrisers Hyderabad could only made 177 for the loss of 5 wickets in 20 overs with the help of Manish Pandey's unbeaten 61 of 44 balls and Johnny Bairstow's 55 of 40. Today, Rajasthan Royals will take on Punjab Kings at Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai at 7:30 p.m. National wrestling champion Sandeep Singh Man in 74 kg was among the 3 Indian men in action who could not earn a quota for the Olympic Games on the final day at the Asian qualifiers in Almaty, Kazakhstan. This simply means that hope of veteran Sushil Kumar, a 2-time Olympic medalist to qualify for Tokyo, is still alive. In the English Premier League, Manchester United staged a superb fight back to shatter Tottenham's top 4 bid with a 3-1 win. Second place United's 4th successive league win avenged their embarrassing 6-1 home home defeat against Tottenham last October. Sports Desk, AIR News.
And now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. Srinagar will have a generally cloudy sky with the temperature rising from a minimum of 7 to a maximum of 21 degrees Celsius. Jammu will also have partly cloudy sky with temperatures moving from 18 degrees Celsius to a maximum of around 33 degrees. Leh, Gilgit and Muzaffarabad are expected to have a generally cloudy sky. In Leh, the minimum temperature was -3 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 9 degrees. In Gilgit, the temperature will rise from a minimum of 8 degrees Celsius to a maximum of 24. In Muzaffarabad, the maximum temperature will be around 27 degrees while the minimum was 11 degrees. Dehradun will witness mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards the evening. The temperatures will hover between 16 and 36 degrees Celsius. Chandigarh is likely to have a mainly cloudy sky with temperatures moving from 20 to 36 degrees Celsius. The national capital, Delhi, is likely to have a partly cloudy sky with temperatures rising up to 39 degrees Celsius. The minimum temperature recorded was 18 degrees. Mumbai and Chennai are also expected to have partly cloudy sky. The maximum temperature in Mumbai will be around 36 degrees while the minimum was 24 degrees. In Chennai, the temperatures will rise from a minimum of 27 degrees Celsius to a maximum of around 35 degrees. Kolkata may have partly cloudy sky with the possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm. The city recorded a minimum temperature of 27 degrees Celsius and a maximum may move up to nearly 39 degrees. Hyderabad is expected to have partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. The temperature will rise from a minimum of 24 degrees Celsius to a maximum of around 37 degrees. Ahmedabad will also have a clear sky with a maximum temperature of around 41 degrees Celsius. The city registered a minimum of 22 degrees. Patna will see a sunny day. The minimum temperature will be 22 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 39 degrees.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. Reporting on the COVID front, capital's daily cases breach 10,000 mark, writes the Hindustan Times. With the call to optimally utilize the nation's vaccination capacity, quoting the Prime Minister, the Times of India states, on Tika Utsav, PM asks all to follow 4 mantras. With flyers deferring trips, the Business Standard headline reads, staying grounded, flyers shelve travel itineraries, flight loads slide below 100. With the pandemic having far-reaching effects, under the caption, hiring meter, the Financial Express writes, more temps in demand, fewer permanent jobs. On the election front in West Bengal, Didi Shah lock horns over election violence deaths, states the Pioneer. With more movement on the case of suspended cop Sachin Vaze, NIA arrest Vaze associate Qazi, writes the Tribune. With India planning an expansion of Iran's strategically located Chabahar port through the supply of 2 more cranes, India plans expansion in Iran's Chabahar, states Economic Times. And finally, Indian Express has a story of the determined Ashwati, a first-year MBBS student. For her dream, MBBS student fights her cerebral palsy and the system.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Over 27,69,000 doses of corona vaccine administered on the first day of Tika Utsav. Chhattisgarh government imposes complete lockdown in 17 districts in view of surge in COVID cases. Maharashtra records highest single-day spike with over 63,000 fresh corona cases. Centre bans export of remdesivir and its active ingredients till COVID situation improves in the country. US reiterates call for investigation into origins of COVID-19, slams China for not cooperating. Sanskrit Learning App Little Guru to be launched in Bangladesh today to promote the language. Iran describes NATO's atomic site blackout as nuclear terrorism. India beat Olympic champions Argentina 3-0 in second match of FIH Pro League at Buenos Aires. And Kolkata Knight Riders defeat Sunrisers Hyderabad by 10 runs in IPL cricket. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.